Hello and welcome to another update video on the development of Exodus Temerity is what I've decided to call the game. Yeah, a lot has changed. As you can see here, I've got the beginnings of the main menu screen, and this is actually a quite a milestone, I guess you could say, because I actually set up a little fancy way to do UI menus, and so I'll be able to use the same system for just any like menu UI in the game. So like the options screen, you'll use a similar system, and yeah, and I can show you why it's so special. This is the file that actually tells it how to build the UI for the main menu screen. Basically, the first half up here is just a bunch of my own custom tag stuff for adding different things to the screen, and then there's a little split tag, and that basically tells it everything from here on is just Lua code that it needs to load up. And yeah, so up here it's setting the dimensions of the UI region and the padding and stuff like that, and then we add the title text and the little space gap, and then buttons. And here's the fancy thing, because if I decide that actually if we yeah, you see here options, credits, and quit are all in two separate rows, but if I just remove this next row tag right here and relaunch the game, then bam, they're all in the same row, and it'll all just adjust itself fancily like that. And so it'll be really easy to set up UI menus because of this. Yeah, and so and then you can click to load into the game. So here we are. And one thing you may have noticed is something I've done differently with this video than other videos is I've started the game in not in full screen mode. And the reason why is I've done things that affect that. I've got the game so it'll try and maintain a 16:9 aspect ratio. And what it's currently open to right now is currently the default resolution that it will try to home in on, which is 1600 by 900. And so basically, no matter what resolution, no matter what dimensions the window is set to, it'll be rendering in 1600 by 900, but then it'll scale to whatever it's currently set to, and then try and maintain the 16:9 ratio on that. And yeah, and so my monitor that I'm using, my main monitor, which this is currently on, is 1920 by 1080. However, I've currently got this OBS set up to exclude the bit at the top where the window title bar would be, as well as the toolbar at the bottom. And so it's not quite 16:9 when this is fully maximized to full screen window. But as you can see, when it can't, when the desired dimensions of the window aren't 16:9, then the rendered region will still be 16:9, and then the gaps filled in with just the white space. Probably won't leave it as just white space in the final version. Probably just find something else to use for that. But you know, and yeah, another plan is that you'll be able to run it in proper full screen mode. So if you have a 16:9 monitor, then you can play the game without any bordering issues and have it at full screen. So yeah, done all that. It's the very first time I've done that with a game, and I did a really fancy way of doing it, and so it's really flexible and stuff. So you know, and that's actually going to be one of the things that's customizable in the options screen. Is you can customize what resolution you want it to be at. Instead of a 1600 by 900, you can change it to whatever. Doesn't even need to be 16:9 ratio if you don't want it to be, I suppose. That's just what I'm using for now, and probably what the default is going to be when you download the game. But yeah, so the main reason why I did that is now when you open your inventory screen, that breaks. It wasn't doing that last time I tested this. Okay, I'll have to look into that. But anyways, barring that issue, yeah, now when you open your inventory screen, it'll show the world behind you. That's something that, what? Oh man, a lot of this is like, I swear this is all working last time I tested it, and I hadn't touched it since. I guess I'll have to look into this. Yeah, anyways, moving on. Before I tried to do this, and I got it to work, because basically what this does is, when you switch from this, like the playing the game, to the inventory screen, it does a lot of things. And so basically all the code that is involved in running the world and stuff, although still loaded into memory, is not being run at all, like ever, anywhere. And so what this does, when it loads into the inventory screen, before it renders anything, it'll take a screenshot, and then that image, it basically just renders on the background here. And that's why I had to implement aspect ratioing and stuff like that in order to do that, because if you open the inventory screen and then resize, then everything would break because the image would be the wrong size. However, now it can know that the image will be the right size, just needs to be scaled. Well, it'll be the right ratio, it just needs to be scaled, and it can do that. And so yeah, I can do this now. Oh, it looks like it doesn't break now. It looks like it only breaks when it's not 16 by 9, which, you know, that's good, I suppose. But anyways, next thing to look at is things. Yes. You can shoot now. Yes, lasers. Woo! Yeah, and oh, gonna have to look into that. Okay, but yeah, you can shoot now, and the origin point of the laser is based on the item that's currently being held, which not really a big deal. But you know, it's a thing. So that if basically what that would be able to allow me to do is if there's multiple different laser rifles that are different sizes, like the images are different sizes, I wouldn't have to worry about messing around with the positioning of where it comes from, because it'll do that automatically for me, and it'll just all line up magically, hopefully. But yeah, the Dendron will also shoot things. Yeah. And also, the Dendron can hold items now. And yeah, one thing I changed with their AI is they no longer look in the direction they're walking in; they look in the direction they're facing in. It's quite intuitive, trust me. Yeah, the direction they're currently facing in is just randomized around them, and then they'll also just randomly shoot in the direction they're looking in. And yeah, they can also hold items. They'll be angled in the direction they're currently looking in. Basically all the same stuff that the player does. And if he shoots me, shoot me, Dendron, shoot me. Shoot me. Shoot me. Come on, shoot me. Yes, he shot me. As you saw there, my health bar went down. So yes, that's a thing that it can do. Currently, if the health bar reaches 0, nothing happens. But it can reach 0, so progress. Yeah, another thing about these little bars down here is they're different. I'll get to that in a second. Probably another thing you notice is an oxygen bar. Yes, that whole thing that you had to deal with in Exodus Season 2 for the first few stages, and then you just got infinite oxygen and never had to worry about it ever again. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that here, except I will not be providing any infinite oxygen cheats. Okay, you got to worry about that all throughout the map. However, fortunately, the situations in which it'll actually be a thing are not going to be constant. Like, majority of the time, you'll be in a pressurized area that has oxygen for you, but occasionally you'll be in a depressurized area that won't have oxygen, and you may have to rely on this thing. So, yeah, that's a thing. But another thing that's fancy about these bars is, I'll demonstrate it with the jetpack fuel, is when they start to get low, they'll flash. And when they go back up, they'll stop flashing. And yeah, I did that in a fancy way. Basically, the current color of the bar is based on a number that will be anywhere between 0 and 2. When that number is below 0, then the color will be a gradient between this color and yellow. The distance along that gradient is based on the distance between 0 and 1. Yeah. And then if that number is above 1, then the gradient will be between yellow and red, and same story there. And basically what it does is when the bar is too low or getting too low, then it will add to the it'll increase the number until it reaches 2, and it'll decrease the number until it reaches 1, and then reverse. But if the value is high enough to be safe or whatever, like it's a decent healthy value, then it'll just constantly decrease until it reaches 0. And so therefore, no matter what stage it is in the it's currently in for the flashing, if it reaches safe levels, then it will smoothly transition back to the default color, and it's all fancy and smooth, and yay. You can also throw items. Yeah, I said I'd do that. It's not perfect. Like, I sort of started working on it, stopped working on it, started working on something else, haven't gotten back to it yet. Yeah, like certain angles, it just goes right back into your inventory here. But yeah, that's something I'll have to improve a little bit. But yeah. And so I guess the current plan is in the final version, the test item will be repurposed to that little secret item that you can find by chance, and the Dendron will actually chase after it and try and pick it up. But yeah, scaling. Ooh. I guess is another advantage of this whole thing, is it'll all be somewhat functional regardless of the current size of the window. But yeah. And another ultimate plan is that you'll be able to hit escape from here to enter a pause menu. I believe that'll currently cause problems, or it'll do nothing at all. Yeah. And so that's where you would like save your progress and leave the game and stuff like that. But yeah. One little thing that I have for debugging is I can hold P, it'll show things. The blue rectangle indicates the dimensions for the UI that are specified in the file, and then the green area is adjusted for how much space it actually needs, and then all the red regions indicate the dimensions for all the different items in the UI. But yeah, that won't be part of the final game though. That's just a little thing that I added for myself, and I think it looks fancy, so I decided to show it off. Here you go, look at it. Now it's gone. Yeah. Making progress. This game is very quickly getting to the point where all that's left to do is just actual content. And it's actually quite exciting. Because it was quite a long time ago that this game reached the point where there was no arguing against the fact that I've never gotten this close to finishing a game. And yeah, still enjoy working on it, so currently very hopeful that this thing will actually get finished one day. It's just taking my time. Don't want to rush because I want to make it perfect. So with that, I guess I'll see you in the next one.